Okay. Okay, the stream is live. I have my gain turned up now. I wish that, yes, I want timestamps. Okay. We're gonna figure this one out this time. Still have my I hi. I changed my camera. I learned how to make the camera work, but it's not oh uh sorry, I'm still distracted by my own face. You'd think I would have gotten used to that by now. I wish I could just see the chat. There we go. Okay. I can see the chat for the most part. It's on the lower screen. Still my screen divided, but we're going again. All right. Oh, nice. Captain Ron. I trying this out again with hopefully the sound is better. Cap, how is the sound? Well, haven't heard from you yet, but hopefully the sound is better. I have the gain up. I am getting a little bit in the yellow, so it might be a little bit hot. And I do have a different mic, but we'll see how that works. We'll see if we end up wanting to switch to it. I'm going to be kind of quick, um, but let's see. Oh, and now we got. Oh, good. I'm glad it's better. Much better quality this go. I appreciate it. Um, it's not hot. Okay, great. Well, and now the only limitation that I'm running into right now is I'm not sure if there's enough power going to my camera. I think I may still be on limited time with battery. But so originally I was going to show off my new SD card and writing the operating system as um, Broke Down had given, and then boot the Teacup. But then we also hit a snag on the Teacup production run. Had a fancy webcam to use. I know. Well, no, that is that's so. This is a what is it? A Sony Z. Mhm. The oh, nope, it's on the bottom, and I forgot what it was. You'd think that this was a relatively good camera, but I am doing it like live stream rather than a capture, so it's still going through USB. It's even got this cool. Uh, it's even got this cool zoom. There you go. I've got this little tripod thing for it. In fact, here we'll zoom in to this nifty little card reader that I got. Yeah, it, this is all amateur hour. This is like cable access TV to the extreme. So I love this SD card reader. We're going to get back to the teacup thing here in just a second, but I love this because it just has micro and and an SD slot. I'm going to verify that right now. Yeah, we're ultra close right now. We're getting personal. I want to show you this, actually. This is one of my favorite 3D printed objects. If I was a really good host, I would give you the Thingiverse link. I did not design this myself, but a threaded SD card holder here, um, and oops, yep, trying to hold it for the camera. Um, Holds full-size SD cards. This is definitely one of my favorites. I need to pull back out the preview window so that I'm actually looking at the camera. But there it is. Kind of excited. Um, anyway, so we're going to screw that. You know, it's kind of like well, here's my other option. It's like my pillbox, right? So I also keep SD cards. These are pro tips. You know, you got to have an SD card a day, and then maybe on Sunday you have some screws, right? And maybe you could put some labels on the top so that you know what's actually in here. Obviously, I didn't, so you know. But then let's see. We're gonna have to figure out how to take the camera. The camera. I'm gonna zoom out. It's okay. I know. I did brush my teeth before this. But the whole point of this was that I was going to make sure that an SD card fit. Hey, oh, it's got the clicky. I don't know if you can hear that, but this is the high quality stuff. Um, very proud of these SD card things. Now, um, okay, so SD card fits. I need to stay on track even while I'm talking to myself. So here in a minute, we're going to go through and write what broke down sent to me the other day because I did that on a micro SD card because I only had a micro reader. I had all sorts of flaky issues with writing to the disk, and I even like ended up putting it on my Pi so that it wasn't attached to my machine because you know Linux. Sometimes I'm just going to say sometimes it can get a little crufty on your file system, or you know, writing to block devices, particularly removable ones. Okay, that may also be user error. I'm not gonna lie; it could also be user error. Anyway, we'll do that, but I want to make sure that I'm able to see the chat. I can see the chat, and then we're gonna switch. Check this out. All right, um, Captain Ron. Um, Captain Ron admitted something to me after PCB Way sent me a question in the form of an Excel spreadsheet. And that question, if I can find it, aha. So I opened this up and it sent me this spreadsheet on the, you know, we've got this production run, right? And we're all very excited about this production run that if I click on this little doodad, we have that the components are in stock. Well, that's exciting. And you know, apparently they are really truly going through some sort of QA process because let me get in as close as I can that Google will allow me. And we purchased the component according to the part number, but the component is bigger than the pads on the board. Please advise. And this is the situation that we have. You know, a lot of things can go. Oops, it's so big. A lot of things can go wrong in these kind of processes. And I said, "Oh, hey, here now I'm gonna bring it up since I have the camera and everything, right?" So I said, "Oh, hey, I have one of these. Captain Ron already did this. He went through this." And you're not going to be able to see it, but let's just try out this camera. Okay, so the part is over here to give you some orientation. I'm going to need a pointer. Hold on. Oh, I'm going to show you another 3D printed uh, fan, although I just transferred a bunch of my stuff. This is a little pen holder that I made a couple years ago, and I spray painted it pink. You know, so I could see it because sometimes I get tired of just black, right? Like black on black, black electronics. Anyway, so here's the board. It exists in my hands, and it's wonderful. Um, and I already have hooked it up. I made sure that it worked. You can see that I left in the I believe this is the dip. Am I correct there? I think this is the dip and the other one's the SOP. Anyway, I left in one of the flash chips, which already has OpenIPC on it, IPC, and then has one of these really super nifty um, sockets. Yep, yep. This one's the Dip 8, the bigger boy. And I mean, like, I love that, right? That's fantastic. Um, Anywho, the part in question. Yes, I know I need to get an overhead camera set up. And I don't know. Here, let me back up again. We're still figuring all this out. Okay. Still figuring this out. I have a light and everything. Except, there we go. Okay, I don't know how bad that makes everything. But let's just keep trying this. We're going to make it. We're going to make it, folks. Uh, well, I do know that I can do my that cool microscope and hook it up to OBS, so I guess I should do that. But this is the part right here. If I recall, it's a power diode. Yeah. We. Um, anyway, so that's where the part in question is, and I'm going to get off my face. Yeah, it's a transient voltage diode. Thank you so much. My brain, I gotta say that without having just like a rehearsed presentation in front of me, um, I am not always so great with thinking. Um, Anywho, so the pads are a little bit off, and this is the close-up shot, and old Captain Ron just fudged it there with the solder. um, and because I couldn't find the chat recall on this before for anybody, I'm being informed by the most authoritative source that it's to protest from random to pro to to protest from random USB devices. Um, yeah, it protects. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you out there. Anyway, but yeah, it's it protects you. It protects from random USB device issues, right? And voltage. Uh, well, it's a diode, right? So the idea is that it doesn't let um, um, electricity flow in the wrong direction. Anyway, so I ended up just telling them after also conferring with the old cap there that yeah, they're right. We had the pad wrong, or the part to the pad wrong, and could they just either hand solder it? And I sent them pictures of the board that you did, or hey, just put it in a baggie and I'll assemble them at home. And we'll get it corrected on the next run, and that's what I'll do. I'll make sure that we get the pad, because this is a SOT 23, and I guess and that is what came across on the bomb, but the footprint is an SOT 323. I believe that is the problem there. This is all just hot off the presses. All right, so I've sent the email off to them, and we will see. Thank you for the confirmation. We will see if. Well, I'm kind of curious what they're going to do if they'll fudge it. If it was me, I mean, like, I wouldn't take the extra effort. If I was a factory worker at PCBWay, I'd say, okay, I'll drop them in a baggie and let's continue on. because then they'll have to hand solder. They may have to end up hand soldering one more part. Anywho, let's transition. Oh, I'm still close up, and I didn't do any of my shine, right? So I'm look all greasy. It's the end of the day. Uh, while I transition to the SD card, let me see. Is there anything, any questions or anything like that in the chat or feedback here on my train wreck stream? Maybe that's what I should call it. I did have a planned activity, which is what was recommended to me, is to have a planned activity. Okay, it's my terminal. That is my bench, and I really don't need to be on there anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and Control B, D, exit off of the bench. Oh, I can't see. Stream seems good. Thanks. That's like, I mean, really, that's like 90% here. Now, you'll notice my little transparency, right, window. Um, that's the other webcam. That's the webcam I was using this morning because I guess I'm still figuring this out, and on OBS between two different scenes, I can't have just like the full screen camera because it keeps the camera open, right, so that it can get to it really nice and quick. And even if I shut this off, which is very exciting, the camera is actually still locked, right? The device is locked. So I guess I'm going to have to run it through some sort of um, buffer, some sort of interface that lets me do it twice. In the meantime, so that you know that I'm a human talking, I've allowed the other camera to stay active. Anyway, so this is not it. This is not it. And yeah, we're in my personal thing. So if I recall, I did Teacup bootable. Yep, and I think I called it Teacup. I hey on broke down. If you eventually get into this, I really appreciate that you've already been going through and attempting to build these images. I do like dates in the name, and so I'd like to try and. Sorry, that's a I'm being super sarcastic because it's just me. Um, uh, okay, so anyway, this is what he sent, and he sent a nice little README. And again, this is the kind of thing I want to make sure we get into the wiki and in some sort of like example and samples directory. But what he did is he figured out how to boot off of the SD card. And again, I haven't installed the USB loader or any of the Windows stuff yet. Um, I think I'm probably going to save that. I'm going to see how far I can get without using any of those tools. And you know what? You're right. They do have timestamps. And now I recognize you. um, so, yep. Thanks. Thanks. Um, I'm just trying to keep some sort of veil of anonymity. We're just going to see. So here's the thing. Okay, no, pause. Um, where is? No, I don't even know how many people are in here. I think it's just the three of us, to be honest. We really should just be doing like a, um, the other thing, like a Google Meet, and then just broadcasting that. Um, anyway, okay. This is going to happen. I'm going to cat the README. I have inserted my oh my, and there's my buddy from high school that's just appeared. Uh, so I attached my new SD card reader. I put a 32 gig SD card in there. I don't really remember what state it's in, but I do think that I might have cleared it. So, I don't know. Let's do something like an ls bulk. Now you're going to see here on my laptop that I've got some drives. And let's see. I'm pretty sure that the way that I like to do this, and I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to bring up the GNOME disks and take this out and put it in. I know. The thing is that I didn't do. I should use dmessage, shouldn't I? Okay, so this is at SDB, and I need to move this terminal window so I can see these. Okay, so yep, and it faithfully, because this is a desktop and I'm running the new GNOME, auto-mounted it, and we don't want that. So I'm going to stop that. That's not cool. Okay, great. So we've got this SD card and it's got one partition on it. So, yep, demessage tail. I took the easy way out. Okay, so I'm gonna fdisk. I'm gonna do this like I normally would do, which is I'm just gonna be root. That's the way that I am. Okay, and we're gonna go into that directory. Okay, and I'm gonna do an fdisk. Dev sdb. I should write a script, and I don't know. I'm going to use fdisk, but really, really we would use gparted nowadays. I think. I don't know. Broke down. Do you use gparted or yeah, you use parted, don't you? Yeah, Captain used parted. Well, last time I made this work with fdisk because we're not dealing with very much. So that's what I'm gonna do and see, and if it doesn't work, I'll use parted. Um, okay, I'm gonna print the partition table. We have one Linux one. Yep. See, okay, so we have one vote for parted and one for fdisk. I think that's fair. I'm gonna delete this partition. This is where I like to go ahead and write to the card now, and then I go back into it. And we're going to see if this just takes forever. Oh, okay, see, that was reasonable. That happened in an unreasonable amount of time the last couple times it did this. So we're already having better luck. And here, projects, cup, bootable, teacup, and cat that readme. Okay, so what we do is we're going to format the first partition. We're going to create a partition that'll hold the FAT. And if I recall, we actually end up using, I think I used FAT32. And then we'll do a second one that's ext3. And we're gonna put the we're going to put the image on the first partition, and then we're going to explode the file system into the second one. So we're going to say I want to add a partition. I'm going to go ahead and say that it's a primary. It's the first partition, and we're going to start at 2048, and I'm just going to plus 100 megabit. There we go. Oh, it is. Why didn't I set that as DOS? Yeah, you're right. Let's see. This is how you know. So if you now see, the funny thing is it didn't ask me, right? Do I set it afterwards? How did I do this before? Oh, you know what I did? I may have cheated and used gparted. Okay, well, let's go to M. Let's do a N. We'll do this. It's probably going to be the same way. Yeah, that's what I thought. Do it afterwards. Okay, 2048 per meg. Oops, sorry. Plus 100 meg. And now we're going to do a second one. I think we can do it as another primary. We're going to do 2. We're going to take it at that address, and then I can take it to the end. I don't think we really need it. Why don't we just say 2 gig? I hope that was okay. Right, and then see, the disk label type is by default DOS. But what we want to do is change the partition type. We want to change the first partition, and I'm going to go ahead and list. And it looks like if I want it to be, let's see, do I want it to be Win95 FAT32? That feels like the right thing. Looking through the list. Yeah, okay. And 0B. Okay, I changed it to Win95 FAT32. I don't know, maybe we needed LBA. YOLO. The other, if I just print this, the other one is already Linux, so I'm going to guess that that works. I'm going to go ahead and write this. And I'm sure that y'all will either VFAT. See, it says FAT32 is Win95 FAT32. I don't know what that, or W95 FAT32. I think I should change to VFAT. Sounds fine. Well, and you'll also notice I failed. I can't scroll, and I should have been in Tmux. Let's go with the one that I originally had. I'm going to go ahead and write that. We need to get on with it, right? Okay. Well, I see over here that my GNOME disks just reported the graphical representation, right? The updates to the partition table, so that's great. So then we're going to do an mkfs dot um, did I just do a fat? Dev sd what is it again? SDB. Okay. kfs dot ext3 dev sdb2. I did it wrong. mkfs. Sorry, one of the dogs. Okay, well, you guys can enjoy this for just a second. I got to let the dog in. I'll be right back. All right. That didn't take long at all. Okay, so next steps here is that we're going to copy uimage to the FAT32. And what I did last time is I just created those folders here so I can mount dev sdb1 to sdb1, mount dev sdb2 sdb2, and then I'm going to cp uimage into sdb1. Just make sure you let me know if I did that wrong. And then instead of copying, right, we've got to explode this file system. And what I did is I remember, I posted this on my blog. I have a little command that I had to look up. I had to remember that it's capital -C to explode into a particular directory. So tar xf, gotta love the tar, root fs -c into sd2. Let's just check that out. Okay. You mount sdb1. It's nice and quick. Guys, this is just so much faster than the flaky card reader. So I'm feeling very, very validated at the moment that indeed there was a poor SD card reader that I had a lot of problems with. Oh, and now I have more. Hi, Hybrid. Okay, so that is written to the SD card. And I just want to make sure that I don't have it mounted at all. And I can use my little clicky. Little clicky guy. And then I'm going to grab my TTL adapter. And I'm going to grab my board. And I'm going to take out this other card that kept on getting messed up. I'm going to put in the new SD card. Let's see, I want to run sync a few times. I know, right? I unmounted it, dude. It should have sunk. That should have been what we were waiting for. Um, but I understand. And like, just to get off into a quick tangent, because I don't like plugging this in directly. I like to use my one of my extension cables. Um, uh, the using ZFS, the way the way that it honors things like the way that it honors stuff like sync is a little bit odd. Okay. My normal extension cable is being consumed by my camera, which I just remembered is may or may not be may or may not run out of battery, and we're going to find out. I'm going to take my take this dude and make sure that I know that the red pin is RX over here, so that means that the red pin needs to go to TX on the board. So we've got TX, RX, and ground. Yes, I know I need to get an overhead set up. We'll be we'll be back to the interesting stuff here in just a second. Here, and I'm gonna plug it in. Make sure it's really plugged in. And I'm gonna type in. Oh, here. Sorry. There we go. USB 01080. Okay. And so I'm connected to the serial adapter. I'm gonna need to power it now, aren't I? Here we go. That's USB-C. I'm just gonna get one of my power packs. This one was probably drained. That's at 63%. You can run one of these boards like all day on one of these. Oh, I should show this off. This is the problem. By the way, in the chat there, my friend from high school, we used to like to go over to each other's workshops and then just try and then just trade stuff. That was just all we do is barter things. So I love these. I have 3 of them. They take the 18650 batteries and 2 of them. And if you can't tell, these are recycled from a pack that reported as dead. And then what I do is I put different stickers on them, so so I can kind of tell them apart. Anyway, so we're gonna power this on, but I have to be ready to hit Control C. Well, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just let it boot all the way, and then I'll do a reboot and hit Control C, because it should. Oh, you missed it. I didn't do it right. It should just boot up into OpenIPC. This is definitely the hard work of several individuals that were not myself. And here, we'll just take note that this is the version that Captain Ron shipped, which was this build on 430. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to reboot, and I'm going to get ready to hit Control C. And basically, I'm actually just going to keep hitting it. Okay, great. So we are, no, clear is not supported in here, I don't think. I'm not going to do it. There, that's clear. So we are in the U-boot, the bootloader. This is technically the second stage, I think, of the bootloader. The bootloader console. And back to our README. We're going to just copy and paste. So I remember reading these in a manual, and so I'm just going to do a poor job here. But of explaining these. I'm going to go with fat load, meaning that we're going to load the image, the boot image into memory to be able to go to the next stage. From the MMC, don't know what 0 is. Maybe it's where we're starting from. But this is probably the location that we're going to load it into memory. How did I do? I should probably look that up and like fact check. But that's what I'm going to. Oh, and this is the file. Let's see. Loads the kernel on the fat partition. Oh, is fat load meaning that I'm loading it off of a fat partition? Yeah, the fat partition, MMC SD card. Okay, so we're loading it off of a fat partition because that's baked into U-boot to know how to read a fat file system on the MMC card. It's the first 0, it's the 0 MMC card. So we think that if I had the second MMC reader there, it would be 1, or yep, it's MMC device 0. Okay, great. And then we've got our memory target and the file name. Fantastic. Chat is awesome. I'm going to paste this in. Right? Okay, well that's really nice, right? I have not actually done this in such a way that it would fail, so I don't really know what happens yet when it fails. We should definitely go back and do that. And then we have this environmental set. And I was actually worried about copying and pasting this because these look a whole lot like variables, but I guess they are variables that I already have. So I don't know if I did something like echo rmem. Yeah, it tells me, okay, that makes sense. So those are variables that are already in here. The OS memory and the reserved memory. What is it? See, I haven't actually tinkered with this before. I just was so excited to get it to work. Yeah, 64. All right, and we have 128 megabytes, 128 megabytes of memory. So we're splitting it down the middle, I guess. Oh, thanks. Print env. Show them all. That was really awesome. And because I'm in screen, I can hit Control A, escape, which goes into scroll back mode, and then we can actually look at them all. Those are all very exciting. Oh, hey, I even had an Ethernet MAC address. There's some good stuff in there. But can I just like pixie boot this? Why can't we? Maybe we should pixie boot it. I mean, later on. Okay, we set the environmental variable. Boot M. I take it. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a fan of pixie boot. Again, well, no, I'm just going to hold that story for another day. So boot M. Here, if I do help boot M, I haven't been in U-boot in a long time. Looks a lot like we're going to boot an application image from memory, which is the one that we just loaded, the U-boot, or sorry, the U image. So, and then the second argument is likely the memory address, which is where we just put it. And yes, that is the address. So we're going to hit that. From TFTP, yeah. It can boot from TFTP. Well, I got a kernel panic, so that's not the same result I had once before. I feel like I wonder if I posted an image of it failing. So let's see. Didn't like that image. Well, maybe I ejected the card too fast. Or, no, because it said it loaded it. So it could be corrupt. Incorrect memory mapping. And y'all are right. We need a reset button. I'm going to reset it. Do something real quick. By the way, this also auto mounts. So the VFAT files that it may be my partition type, but I don't think that's right that it is. So it's already mounted, so I should just do md5 sum on the device. I love that I can run these things. Mount bulk uimage. We'll go back and we'll just double check that I didn't copy and paste something extra. Ending with BE21. BE21. So it looks the same. In U-boot, try MMC part. I'll try that. But I swear, I ran through this and I got, like, I did this. This worked before. So let's just try it. Maybe it's because of all my talking. Just not going to talk this time. I can sing though. Do, 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 do. And you know what else? Could it be? Why is that it? Oh, that's the root partition. Do, do, do. And I mean, that's, that is the end of the line. Do, 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 do. Let's hope it's just that I was fast and loose. Just saying that feels like it's getting a lot further and that I probably just fat fingered it before. Yeah, yay. 5-5, everybody. So what did we what did we learn? I shouldn't have spent so much time, right? Because obviously I didn't. Yeah. Anyway, some people know already though that I have a hard time talking and typing at the same time. But we did it, and that Win95 fat, whatever the difference is between it and VFAT, and like just saying FAT32, I mean, Microsoft was very standard about all of its different partition types. Anyway, that apparently still worked. The bootloader um, dealt with that. And I mean, it's loading that image into memory anyway, right? So like, as long as U-boot is able to read it, it doesn't even matter anything else. It's just if U-boot can read it, and it feels like that was successful. It gives us nice positive feedback. So we just proved we didn't do a build, right? But we did prove that we can boot off the MMC and that my SD card reader, which is works, which is obviously the most important part. All right, those are the two activities. It's probably ignored by you, Root. Sorry. Again, in case the replay on the chat doesn't work, um, the comment the comment was the partition type is probably ignored by U-boot and it just blindly tries reading a fat file system. Um, I think that's actually a really great guess. And we should probably go and like fuzz test this, right? And like find out what all the errors are because we all have an infinite amount of time. But I really like that theory because I remember originally one of the reasons that I loved particularly Linux, but Unix in general, but specifically Linux, was that it was so big boy pants, and it would just let you do whatever and absolutely destroy the system and didn't care. It's like I don't care. If you tell me to do something, I'll just do it. Uh, it's very liberating. Anywho, uh, we finished our activity, and I want to try and keep the stream succinct. We're already at 50 minutes. Um, is there any questions? I'm going to pause for this and decide what is going to happen. Decide what's going to happen next. And by the way, what I mean is that I'm probably going to turn off the stream. However, one of the things maybe I'll just go ahead and test out while I'm here and you guys are trying to think of something is I'm going to see if I can get my camera on OBS and then you can give me feedback as to uh, the quality of it, and then maybe we can take a look at the board um, a little bit closer and broadcast it out onto the internet. I also would like to figure out uh, I'd like to figure out the music situation. Okay, so I just booted my camera up. If you guys want to go back into some of my other things, you can find the affiliate link for this. But I just booted this camera up, plugged in with micro USB here to my laptop. And when it booted up, it asked me, hey, do you want to be mass storage or PC camera, right? So that I can read the internal or the flash. And I'm going to say PC camera. All right. Now it's gone and it says PC camera. Again, I'm going to show you, right? It says PC camera. So now I don't have the viewer, but just going to make this a little bit awkward. But now if I go into my scene 3, it has some sort of window capture. I'm just going to take that out. Please excuse the blankness. We're going to do a video capture device. This has worked at least once before. Now that I have 3 web cameras hooked up, I think this will, I'm sure that this will have no problem. Oh, wow. Okay, everybody. That's not the right view. That apparently is the infrared stream for my webcam. Did not know that that was available. Let's go back to the, no, that won't work. Here we go. I have to be able to click OK and you've got to accept it. It's not, there we go. Okay, and it's too big, so I have to transform and fit to screen. Okay. You know what the other problem is? The light's not on. What's the deal with that? I'm going to get my board. First, I'm going to disconnect the power, and I'm going to disconnect the reader or the TTL adapter. And then we're going to put this under. Why is the LCD off? That is bumpkiss. Let's try this again. Maybe there's something in the settings. Hmm. White balance automatic. What? No. No. Color range, frame rate. Camera 1? No. Well, it's kind of locked up again. Yeah, so the light isn't on. I'm going to turn it off and try it again. Stand by. Because I feel like that's a massive oversight. PC camera. Back here. That's not live. This is, if it ever accepts it. And again, the light's not on. Well, hold on. That's stupid. That's just what I'm going to say. I'm getting a light. We don't need it on my face, certainly. Megan. Oh. So, anyway, here we go. I don't know how well this is coming through. It's obviously upside down. Well, that's relative. But here's our T31 board. It had a knob on the USB cable for LED brightness. Well, what if I... Yeah, I'm going to write them a letter, or maybe just read the manual. Yeah, and I got so the focus should be good now. But I'm using, here, where's my, I'm not going to shine it. Don't shine it in the, turn it off. This is a nice buy. It's a nice little lithium ion pack. It's one of those kind of things that I guess you're supposed to use if you're a content creator. And then you can set the brightness and it's RGB and all that. Let's go back to the camera. Yeah, thank you. All right. I'm going to slow down here. I didn't take the SD card out. All right. This is, those pins are getting in the way. I can take it off easily, but then I'll be up and down all the way. So this is that really nice. This is the really nice. Like you get these from Adafruit. Oh, now the focus is difficult. But this is the really nice socket. And here, we're going to, this would be the most horrid inspection, live inspection video. This is the culprit from earlier. It's out of focus again. There we go. Where I ended up having to ask them to either hand solder or put it in a baggie and let me do it if they don't want to be responsible. And we have these test points. And let's see. Where's the clock, Cap? Oh, it's just right there. So there's the clock. Did you get sorry. What happened from the clock fiasco? Sorry folks for um, the inside baseball here, but Captain Ron is not a fan of this size of this form factor of clock. Here, I'm going to show you. Okay, so you see it here, right? Sure, it's 24 megahertz. And there's a nice little PLL circuit inside there. Okay, uh, we're going to use the zoom in. We're going to get real intimate here. Okay, yep. This is the size of my fingernail, right? That chip is about the size of my fingernail, and I have average hands. They're not fat, but they're there. And right there is the clock. And that is not, I don't know, would you say that was, well, obviously it wasn't as difficult as baking the chip. It's about 33% bigger. Yeah, oh, yeah, let's see, hold on. I'm getting filled in. You don't need to see my face that close. Stole the crystal from another cam. It's bigger. See, you bodged another one. You are truly, you win the Homestead Hacker award for not only being able to put this board together by hand, which, by the way, everybody, he ordered moments. His order was already out the door for the boards and the components moments after the um, the the board was published in Git. Um, just cowboying it up. Gotta love it, and that's the only reason that any of us have any of the hardware right now um, is due to his efforts, and it's been absolutely amazing. All right. Anything you wanted to see on the board? We kind of did that test, I guess. It works, but not generally because it's the light doesn't work. Um, I did put these little standoffs on here just so we're all clear because okay, maybe one time I short circuited a motherboard because I had it laying flat on a surface and and I and I fried it. Maybe just that one time. And I remembered. It's like the same reason I have UPSs. I've like lost code due to a power outage exactly once. Not ever doing that again. All right. Okay, well, I think that's about it. I'm going to show you that I indeed do have another pack, and this one is a Pokemon. Give you a quick little tour just so that you can see. These are my collection, most of my collection of LTO tapes. And if you ever see the rest of that, and I have other various media in that shelf. This is my air conditioner because it gets hot in here, and I have drawers and bins of things. That's, I guess that's about all I've got. So this stream has lost all facets of interest. We've exhausted them. My brain is about to turn off too. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you sticking with me. And if I may do, I'm planning on doing some sort of stream tomorrow, but I know that it was way too early for most folks. But you know, not everybody lives in the States. But we'll see. It's kind of fun, maybe watching me have my first cup of coffee because it's all over the place. All right. Well, one day I hope that you will see me not just at the beginning of the day or the end of the day and when I actually have some good focus. But I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. I'm Handy and happy hacking.